So I'm super excited. I have a solo show coming up, but not only does that mean making sure all your art is complete, but then to make sure that it is properly wired for display. And I'm realizing a lot of artists don't know how to properly wire. I mean, I might not even know how to properly wire my stuff, but this is how I wire my art with D-rings and just wire. Here we go. So first off, you're going to need D-rings and wire. I like to get this just fun picture hanging kit off of Amazon. It has multiple different sizes of D-rings and different gauges of wire depending on how heavy your piece is. I also have super thick wire for pieces that I know are definitely heavier than others. Since I use a heavy acrylic in a lot of layers, some of my artwork can get pretty heavy, and they're not even really that big. So I have these just in case, which can hold up to like 30 pounds. And then just a great picture hanging kit that I get off of Amazon, which has different gauge wires. I just use the D-rings, but they come with different size D-rings, once again, like depending on how heavy your artwork is. So I always think this is a great little starter kit. Plus everything's organized in a little box. And it makes me so happy. But that's just because I'm kind of atypical like that. So here is one of my pieces. It is the Huntington Harbor Lighthouse. And I am working on getting that, they're gonna be a little heavy, properly wired for my exhibition. And first, you want to make sure all of your art is dry. This has been setting for about 3 days now, so I know that it's really good and dry, especially with the different layers that I have. So I know I'm really good to go on this. Next up, you just want to make sure you have either a ruler or a tape measure and a pencil. I adore this tape measure. It's probably one of the best bridal shower attendee gifts I've ever received from one of my friends when she got married like 10 plus years ago. It's perfect. I love how tiny it is, and that it makes me so happy, and it's not bulky. So next, we're going to turn the artwork around. So as you see, ready to go on the back. And depending on how heavy your artwork is kind of where you wanted to decide where to place your markings. For the most part, I like to make it anywhere from like 2 to 3 inches from the top of my artwork. I feel like when you start going, lower, things might, not lay nicely enough flat on the wall, but it really is, it really depends on how large and how heavy your art is. So this piece is a 20 by 20 inch canvas, and I really only want to go, let's see, yeah. So when you do this, 3 inches is just right there. So I might even go just a little bit lower to like 3 1/4, because in my head, it'll make me happy when I have to put the D-rings on. Now, some D-rings are just one opening. Other D-rings have like 2 openings where you have to like screw in. Obviously, the more screws you put in, the heavier the artwork. This one's not too heavy, so I might just use a singular D-ring hole slot thingy. I'll show you what I mean in a second, because obviously I can explain all this so well verbally. So as I was saying before, there's different sizes for different weights. So I'm going to use just a tinier D-ring. So it's just a single circle for, screws to go into. But then you also do have double. And for the ones that are really super heavy, triple. Pretty easy, right? So I'm just going to go with singles and start making my marks for where I believe I'd like for this to go. What happens when you start moving things around? You forget where you put them, because that's what I do. Okay, so looking here, I'm kind of happy with like 3/4. So I'm just going to mark it off on my back of my canvas. Hold on, my eyeballs are not working. This one here, and then 3 1/4 here. All right. Before I put anything in, I kind of just like to look and make sure, like, am I happy with that? And yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, I'm good with that. looks pretty legit. This great little kit comes with screws. If for any reason times you run out of screws, you can just get them at your Home Depot or Lowe's or any local hardware store, because that's how it rolls. I love my drill. For someone who has, arthritic issues in my hands, using an actual hand screwdriver hurts. So I just like to do it this way. So let's come on up, put it there. Of course, make sure the screw is through the D-ring. All right, and just pop it in. Make sure it's on the right way. See, sometimes you might want to stand, make sure you have some level. And go nice and easy till your D-ring is nice and secure. Right in. You don't got to be Bob Vila. Screw in really quick, like Gaines, whatever, Chip and Joanne Gaines. Just take your time. Do it on the other side. Ugh. Same way, line it up as best you can. Take your time. Ta-da! D-rings in. Glorious. So next, after you get the D-rings in, you're going to want to get your wire figured out. So with the wire, it's kind of great. If it's a thin enough wire, you could use a scissor. You don't technically need a wire cutter. I have both, but right now my scissor is right here, so that's helpful. So next in, what we're going to do, this is how I figure it out personally. I put it under the D-ring, and I give myself like 2 to 3 inches and just wrap it around and then just continue going. Nice and tight and easy. Just going around the wire. Make sure that it's just nicely wrapped around itself and nice and tight, right? So then next you're going to do is go right across, see where your D-ring is, okay? And then just kind of like eyeball what, 2 to 3 inches would be. Take the end, trusty scissor or wire cutter, whatever you have nearby. Luckily, it's a thin enough wire where I can cut really easily through with my scissors. Okay, go in, under and over. Now, I like to make sure that the wire is super tight. Why? Because when I install artwork, it drives me crazy if the wire goes above the art. You don't want to do that because you'll see the wire. And the whole point of this is to have this beautifully floating with no distractions. So once again, just go do, 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 do. I know. Just take it and roll it over and under to each other. There you go. And you're done. That's it. It's D-ring wired. And it's okay if this starts to come in a little bit or that's there. That's fine because your artwork is well hung up and it'll be ready for installation wherever you have it going. A lot of places don't like sawtooth because it's just, you can't really straighten the artwork well when something is a sawtooth. But this to me is absolutely perfect. And then you can just hang it and you're ready to go. Why not? So please, D-ring. And D-rings, once again, I think I paid maybe $9-12 for this set off of the Amazon. You can buy D-rings at a local hardware store. Why are they called a D-ring? Hey, look it. It looks like a D-ring. Pretty simple. But yeah, happy creating. Be good to each other. And yeah, if you have any questions, leave a comment. I'll be happy to answer for you if I have the ability to. Because,